Hey guys, just Matt here from Henry Shine, just doing a really quick video showing you how to make a model in meshmixer. So first things first, we open up meshmixer. You're going to need a pair of scans, so let's just work on this. We'll pull this one in. So we've got a scan here, so depending on I guess how your scan comes in, can you see this the lines are grid section. So what we want to do initially is we're going to come into edit, we're going to hit transform, and what we want to do, we want to align this up so it's sitting flat to the grid just there. So that's fine there. Now we're going to start trimming. So depending on how much scanning you've done is going to depend on I guess how much excess we're going to trim off. So to do a trim, I'm going to use select. Now the first thing I'm going to do is just come across like something like that. If I want to take off more, I can. If I want to take off less, anything that's in the orange now, if we hit delete, it will delete away. Now there are other sections here that I might want it to trim. So depending on what angle you're on is going to depend on what gets trimmed off. So if I wanted to trim this area off now, I might start out here and then I might come in, trim away some of that. So it looks a little bit cleaner now. So once and let's just trim that up just through there, obviously. So once I've done, obviously not the world's greatest scan because we've obviously missed little sections, let's just trim this up here. Alright, that'll do. Alright, so after we've done that, I'm going to come back into select, double click to highlight the whole thing. What I want to do now is modify and smooth boundaries. So once we smooth boundaries, it's going to be less sharp and it's going to make it a nice smooth edge for us. At least I like to ramp the smoothness up and preserve shape down and hit accept. Sorry about my daughter. Yes, I did. You can put that in the bin. Alright, so now that we've smoothed the boundary, the next thing that we're going to do is going to edit and we're going to extrude. So extruding pulls the base down. When we bring the offset down, you can see it's starting to create our base now. And I always change this to y-axis and I always change it to flat. So there we go. So now we're starting to make a model. Cool, done, accept. Now if you wanted to, at this point in time, if there's any sharp dags that you don't like, you can come into sculpt, you can hit brushes and come into robust smooth. Depending on the size of this, you can obviously smooth off certain parts of a scan that you didn't want to have any sharp dags, you know, so you can do that. You can use the inflate if you wanted to inflate a certain part of the scan to allow for, let's say, material for bleaching trays or something like that. If you hit Control Z, it will undo. Alright, so after we've done that and we've created our base, I'm going to come back down the bottom to edit and we're going to make solid. Now it's going to look ugly, so we're going to change solid accuracy high, mesh density high, and update. Now I will say Sean, that does my role over in WA, he also has started to create a base and he said he can do it in a Microsoft, I think it's 3D Paint program. I've yet to learn that program yet. So now that we've created a solid base, the one final thing I'm going to do is going to go plane cut. So if we have a look from down the bottom, you can see where it's cutting off. I'm going to pull this one down. There's always a bit of a delay on this particular plane cut feature. It's just the way that the software works and the processing. Let's pull it down just a little bit more. Alright, that looks pretty good. Let's just roll with that, shall we? So I'm going to hit accept. and then that is our model ready to print. So you can see that's good to go. So I'm going to export it. I always make sure I export it as a STL binary. And let's just go to desktop and summon up a pre-prep. Save. Do you want to replace it? Yes. So after we've done that, opening up the Asiga program, it makes it pretty easy because of the plane cut is, and let's change material to Denter model, 100 micron. Because when we're using the plane cut, where was it? Salmon, where's that scan gone? Bear with us. There it is. So when you do the plane cut, because it's cutting it perfectly parallel to the build platform in meshmixer, it comes in perfectly parallel and stuck to the base here. So you can see that. Now I wanted to make it even on both sides of the build platform, so I'm going to just right click, hold right click down and keep the mouse still, and you can see how you got the two arrows. So you can rotate it around.
I cleaned it out for you.
Oh, thank you. You can pop it in the bin. Thanks, Daze. Now that is pretty much all good to print. So we can just hit play. Now my printer's not connected, so obviously it's not going to give me that. Okay, never mind. So if I hit this, you know, it's going to let us know if that resin's worth $2.20. So $3 a model, base plate thickness. It's fine, and that's going to be about 45 minutes. That's not on fast mode though in saying that, so that would generally take around about 20 minutes to print on fast mode. So, which, because my printer's not selected, it's obviously not allowing me to carry on with that next step. But that gives you an idea of how to use meshmixer tied in with the Asiga printer. And if you were to print two models, maybe you'd have one facing that way, and let's just go to clone. We'll bring that in. If you were to print two models, maybe it's worthwhile printing two that way. So that gives you an idea. Now, if the base is shimmering and shiny like that, obviously they're both attached to the build platform. If one's up, you can see what it looks like when it's not attached. So if ever you do need to bring it down just a little bit more, I'm going to bring it down just a little bit below. You can see how I've brought that below. So that means everything below there is not going to print. But because we're printing, Control Z, because we're printing it solid and flat, it's just going to start printing from there upwards. So that's still going to print for us. It's going to save us a little bit of time, to be honest. And then we're not going to have a problem, obviously, providing that when you do a quick check, scroll through, make sure that there are no islands before you go to print. Cool, done, and then hit play and print away. Cool, cheers guys, bye.